The night before a man becomes a maester, he is sent into a vault beneath the Citadel. No torch, no lantern, no light of any kind. Only a tall candle made of dragonglass, black and twisted, with ridges sharp enough to cut skin. His task is simple: light it. He sits in the dark for hours. He tries everything he knows, and by morning, the candle is still cold. That is the lesson. Magic is gone from the world. Accept it. For centuries, every acolyte learned this the same way. Alone, in the dark, failing. Then the dragons returned, and one of the candles began to burn. So what are the glass candles? Welcome to Westeros Within, where we journey into forgotten ages, hidden legends, and ancient mysteries. Glass candles are tall, slender candles made of obsidian, dragonglass. The Valyrians called it frozen fire, and that name may be closer to the truth than anyone realized. They were forged by the sorcerers of the Valyrian Freehold, shaped into twisted, ridged forms that stand roughly 3 feet tall and glitter like polished stone. The Citadel in Old Town holds 4 of them, 3 black, 1 green. They are ancient. They arrived in Old Town roughly 1,000 years before the doom of Valyria, which makes them among the oldest Valyrian artifacts in the known world. But what makes them extraordinary is not their age. It is what happens when they burn. The light they give off is strange, bright and unpleasant. White becomes blinding. Reds turn to living flame, and shadows deepen until they look like holes cut into the world itself. The candle burns, but it is never consumed. Whatever fuels it is not fire, as anyone understands it. The powers attributed to a burning glass candle are staggering. A person seated before one can see across mountains, seas, and deserts. Not vaguely, clearly, as though distance itself has been folded away. They can enter the dreams of another person and fill that sleeping mind with visions. And 2 people seated before separate candles can speak to one another across the width of a continent, as though sitting in the same room. That is not legend. That is what the Valyrians built. A communication network made of fire and obsidian, connecting an empire that stretched across half the known world. Dragon roads moved armies. Dragons carried riders. And glass candles carried information, instantly, silently, with no raven to intercept and no rider to ambush. When the doom shattered the Freehold, the dragons died and the candles went dark. For centuries, they sat as cold, dead stone. Until they didn't. At the Citadel, there is one Archmaester who never accepted that magic was finished. Marwyn. His colleagues call him the Mage, and they do not mean it kindly. He has traveled to ASOIAF and the Far East. He wears a ring, rod, and mask of Valyrian steel. He studies the very subject the Citadel treats as a dead curiosity. And in his chambers, a black glass candle burns. When Samwell Tarly arrives at the Citadel carrying desperate news from the Wall, he is brought to Marwyn's study. There he sees it for himself. The strange light, the impossible flame. He asks how they knew he was coming. Alaris looks at the glass candle and says nothing more, because no more needs to be said. Marwyn had been watching, and Marwyn may not be the only one. In Meereen, Daenerys Targaryen receives a visitor no one else can see. A woman in a lacquer mask standing beneath a persimmon tree, speaking in riddles and warnings. Quaithe. She appears without arrival and vanishes without departure. She has no ship, no escort, no physical presence in the city at all. And she tells Daenerys something that ties everything together. The glass candles are burning. That is how she begins her warning. Not with politics, not with prophecy, with the candles. If Quaithe is reaching Daenerys through a glass candle, then it means the network is not dead. It means someone in the east has lit one too. And it means that the people who possess these candles can reach into the minds and dreams of anyone they choose, across any distance, without being seen. That changes the nature of power entirely. And that may explain why the Citadel worked so hard to bury them. The Maesters control information across Westeros. Every raven passes through their rookeries. Every lord relies on their counsel. Every history is written by their hand. That system only works if there is no alternative. Glass candles are the alternative. They bypass ravens, roads, and riders entirely. They see through walls. They reach across oceans, and they answer to no institution. Marwyn believes this is why the Citadel turned the Vigil into what it is. Not a test of ability, a lesson in surrender. Every acolyte sits alone in that vault and learns that magic is impossible, that the candle cannot burn, that some doors are simply closed. But the candle was never broken. The world had simply grown too quiet to light it. That may be the most unsettling truth about the glass candles. They are not swords. They do not cut. They are not poisons. They do not kill. They are not horns or crowns or thrones. They watch, and the person being watched would never know it. Right now, in the story, at least 2 glass candles burn. Marwyn's in Old Town, likely another in the Far East. Perhaps more we have not been told about. Someone in Quaithe lit candles that had been dark for a century. Someone called Urathon Nightwalker, whoever that is. The glass candles were always instruments of empire, tools for those who understood that seeing everything is worth more than conquering anything. The Valyrians knew this, and now the candles burn again, in a world that has forgotten what they are, held by people whose intentions we cannot yet see. The question was never whether the glass candles could be lit. The question is who is sitting behind the flame, and what they have already seen. If you want more secrets uncovered from the world of Westeros, subscribe and stay with us. And tell me in the comments, if you could look into a glass candle and see anywhere in the world, where would you look first? Westeros Within. The stories they never told you.